example for data caching. So I told you cache object is what we will be using to implement data caching, right? So how we can use this cache object is really with a lot of functionality, with a lot of features you can use actually, not just by storing a variable and all, because it has many options to do the tasks, please. So in our example, what we will do now, we will create one XML file, like we were trying to do a cricket score domain, right? So what we will do now, we'll create one XML file where the data is always updated. Means we'll use that XML file to store the data. And using that XML file, we will try to read the data and present it to our user, okay? And how we will do it, what type of caching if we do, how it will work is what something that we have to see now. Let me just go and take our example where we were doing like page output and all that. It's slow. So see, I'm just in a project now where we have done other cachings, but that has to do nothing. How data caching is different when compared to page output and fragment caching? Come on. How data caching is different when compared to page output and fragment caching? We have seen page output caching, fragment caching, right? How data caching is different?
So we can cache only the data which
We can cache actually anything, but what I told you is data caching is not related to output based. Are you clear? It's not related to any output, like page output and fragment caching means what? Compulsorily they are related to UI or not now? Okay. Now data caching is not like that. You will be caching the data, and that data might be present or not. Something like, you might show that or not also. You can just access that data as part of your code. Okay, so it's taking a little long because I have updated the system. Right, so here I'll start the demo now. So what we'll do now, first here I'll give you steps how we are doing, and also we'll simultaneously do that. First step is create an XML file, okay, with some data. Okay, so as I said, we'll be doing some a live score demo like that. Let's create an XML file with some data, say score.xml. Okay. Now when we are doing this demo, you need to know what we discussed yesterday, data caching and all, but I'm not getting that response. Data caching means using cache object, it's not related to application, all that points just recall. Now I'll just go and create this XML file. Here, right click. You can create an app data, otherwise I'm just trying to create here, add new item. Let's say score.xml. Here is my score.xml. Now what we will do in this, we'll take one structure, something like this. This is an XML file now. Here I am taking let's say some scores data. See, I'm not using database here. I told you, like when you are doing dependency based expiry and all, more we use the files. Slowly I want to use this demo to show that dependency mainly. So look at this, very good example to learn how data caching can be very productive. In case that XML structure is difficult, let me explain that please. Scores data is a root tag, all of you there. Can you see that? It is a root tag. When you are creating any XML file, you should start with a root tag. So scores data is a root tag. Inside this scores data, you will start creating, what is your actual data or table. Say for example, here I am specifying, let's say score is my table. Are you getting? Scores data is like pubs and score is like jobs. Now it's clear. Now inside score I have, let's say, over 1, that is data. Just I want to create this runs, let's say some 5. That's my table. I can add more columns, but let us do with that too. And that's one record. Here is second record. So what is the idea in the demo? The idea is, as user is the operator, the live cricket match will be going on, the operator will be updating this file. Yes, no? What? You understood the scenario or not? This is something that I am entering just as a dummy 2 records, but actually who will enter this one? The cricket operators, or how they enter is not the important issue for us. What's important is they will be entering the data. So right now I kept, at least shall we keep some 3-4 records so that we can see. Let's say 3, let's say 1, and let's say 4, and let's say 10. That's the score. So whenever you are creating XML file, always make sure that you will have a root tag, then you will have a table tag, and then you will have the columns, please. In XML, based on the parent, that score, it will form the table actually based on the score. See, these all scores is one table. All right. So you can just take one record because remaining all are just copy paste only. So now tell me, when you compare with database, here what is scores data? I told you it is like database, scores data is, and then score is like a table. Okay. Now first I created an XML file. You have copied, then I'll go to next. Second, create a form and place let's say button, label, and grid to show records or to show score. Point out anything that will not match for real score in this as I am doing the example. Create a form, place button, a label, and grid to show the score. So I just need one form where I will provide all this. Then let's just write the next step also and do both steps there. In button, write code to retrieve the score to retrieve the score and ensure that the live score is presented to end user. Our goal is you must show the live score to end user, not the wrong score. What is live score for us is what is there in XML file is only live score for us. Please understand this, otherwise you will not know further. Live score is what is present in XML, that is only live score. So if in XML file, suppose you have 5 records, okay, then you display 4 records, that is not live score, that's not correct. In XML you have 5 records and you display that 5, then it is a live score. So our live score in this demo is our XML file only, please, not this thing, right? Let's do this too now. So here use cache object for what? Faster processing of data with good logic. Faster processing of data with required good logic. So you can use in variety of ways this cache object. You can improvise it lot as much as you want. But now we will have something very useful. Let us try to see that. Okay, so these 3 steps we will do now. I'm back to my project, close this XML file, and in my project now I have score.xml. Easy, with this demo anybody can learn data caching is what and how effective it can be. And now I will say here add a web form, let's say live.aspx, and what is that we plan to create? Yeah, let's take a link button here, let's take a label here, and then a grid. Here is the grid. So that's my form now, okay, and as part of this form I am going to do all the process. And for a grid I would just in case I want to, right, that's my data, and here this is my link button wherein I will say here view score. So good so far. Now see, the case study is clear or not now? What should happen when user clicks on view score? He should get the score. Actually, user may not like to click on view score every time. Am I correct or not? You can automatically refresh and show the score also. Okay, but that when we did the chatting example, I told you to use a timer. You remembered, all of you? If you could not get today, ask me. I will use timer here and avoid that view score. But have you tried it or not? What about application session chatting? I told you should have tried, no? See here, I think in this system I have that demo. If I have it, I will show you, which we have done earlier. How easy chatting is. See now, somebody was showing me, no? Somebody was showing me the errors. Who is that? Yeah, you wrote. Very good. That was correct logic, but have you corrected it? No. Still no? Okay, I have that code. I think I will show you in this, right? Same good coding you have written. That is very nice. Now, okay, first let us do this one now. First let us do this and then we will see that one. When I click on view score, I need to get this. See, this is my file actually, score.xml. all right. So here, what is the logic to do now? First of all, take data set here, data set ds. Data set is in which namespace? System.data. So I am just adding that. Can you see system.data? I have added it. Alright. Data set DS. Okay, I am just creating one variable DS. See, automatically I added here, please, system.data. When you don't see, then don't think I have not added. Data set DS added. Next. Okay, I'll remove that. See here, what next? I created data set, but I will go with my cache logic now. See, same like state management. For every state management demo which we have done and which you will do, please remember that you need to always ensure that first you check whether that object is present or not. Cookies, when we did, we checked it. View state, when we did, we checked it. Yes, you remember guest. When guest will appear? There is no data, then guest will appear. So here, if again I am saying cache of, let's say, crick score not equal to null, or let's go with equal to null for some of you to understand easily. Equal to null. What's the meaning of that?
There is no data.
Very good. There is no object. Yeah, good. There is no cache object. When there is no cache object, our job is to get the data from our data source. Am I correct, all of you? When there is data in the cache, then use that. When there is no data in the cache, go to backend and get that data. Got it? Whenever you are working with state management data, state management logics, never believe that that object will exist. Always write a logic. If that object exists, what to do? If that object doesn't exist, what to do? So in our demo also, what is our plan is, if already there is data in the cache, then give it from cache only to the user. If there is no data in the cache, then try to get from the backend and not showing, get from your data source, put it in the cache and then present it to your user. Make sense, all of you, or not? When we do this type of task with view state, what will happen? View state will be only for that particular user. He carries the score, but the score is not something like private, no? The score is public or private? It's public. Everybody should get it. So there is no point to send that score to, with the client. So what you can do, you can keep that score in server memory and then share it to all the users who are coming to our website, right? So that's what I'm going to do now. Cache of crick score is equal to null. We have some new statements and interview points here. See now. ds dot read XML. All right. ds dot read XML is used to read XML data into dataset. Now here a good concept is there. Maybe I should have somewhere used, but I could not use in our previous demos. I should have. But now I am telling, I will try to cover that. See, XML is hierarchical data, please. It's hierarchical, HDB, MS data. And dataset is relational data. Listen carefully, everybody. Dataset is relational. So we read XML will do what, it will read hierarchical data into relational format. You might have learned this, but many of them, they don't. When in C# interviews, people will ask you, can we convert relational data to hierarchical and hierarchical to relational? It's one of the very important FAQ actually, in interviews also, in projects also. People ask, I have hierarchical data with me. How do I convert that hierarchical data into, the relational data? Relational data is rows, columns, tables and all. Now you need to remember at that time this DS. 3 titles are attached with this, serialization, deserialization, XML serialization, and the third is HDBMS to RDBMS, RDBMS to HDBMS. Vice versa, no? I can get data from SQL Server into dataset using adapter and write ds.write_XML. Come on. No. What's the meaning? Getting relational data and writing into hierarchical format. That's great, you know. At so low cost and simple way you can write it. Actually, it's very tough. If you start writing on your own, it's tough. That's why nobody writes. They go for WCF, Web API, who are very strong in serializing. Alright. So ds.readXML. Now, when you are writing ds.readXML, actually you are supposed to write score.xml. But in ASP.NET, remember, in web applications, all of you, in web applications, we always have our files and all in virtual path. I don't know, you remembered virtual directory, physical directory. We are always in virtual directory. We are never in physical directory. But while reading the file, how can virtual data be read? We need a physical file name or not? Means you need the actual location of the file. You cannot virtually read a file. Okay, that's why ASP.NET has one method called map path. Very, very important this is. Map path is a method which will convert your virtual path to physical path or virtual directory to physical directory. See, this is virtual. What is tilde telling me here? Tilde is telling, hey, this is your project, and in this there is a file called score.xml. But actually what I need, you know, what actually I need is this. Without that I cannot read that file, and I should not write that in my code. Now somebody might ask, why don't you write directly this only? Now directly if you write this, when you deploy, yes, you understood the point or not now? Okay, in a small world you might think, okay, let us write that only, but when you deploy it, where is C drive? Where is demos? Nothing. So like this it works. Useful method or not now? Yes, definitely it is a useful method. So now you read the data into your data set. Okay, let me just write here new data set ds.readXML map path. So this is what I was telling, HDBMS to RDBMS. Many of them don't realize these things. These are actually very powerful concepts of C# data set and all that. While teaching data set, I told you all these points. Maybe I have not done practical, but remember, data set can work directly with XML. Database means you have to use SQL adapter, all that. It can take any other data, you know, in a manual way. That is the best knowledge that you can have when I discuss data set. I told you, when you want to communicate with database with adapter and all, when you want XML, direct. Why? Because dataset has that direct serialization with XML. That direct only is my demo. And any other means you have to manually write, I told. Yes, JSON, yeah, that's correct. So that's why I am telling, no, if you remember those, you are number 1, not even 2. Now how you will remember those? And you see, I told no time will come for you. As you do somewhere, you will get XML demo, I told you. Now here is one now. So direct, there is no separate thing that I am loading. So read XML, map path of score.xml. Now data is in DS. What I am going to do now, cache of crick score equal to DS. And for our understanding, I will say label 1.text data from data source. And please remember, yesterday in the last series we were talking, right? Cache of crick score equal to DS. What is the life of this object? If you say cache of A equal to 10, what's the life of that? As long as your app is running, it will be. It's lifetime. I told you, come on now. What happened yesterday is only lifetime, time-based, dependency. Good you told me, no? Why you are creating doubt to me now? So that's a thing. Now I will say else. What is the meaning of else? It is present. Now simple, typecast it and take it from your cache itself. Data from cache, you can take down as I am writing so that we can discuss that once we do. Take down all the code, take down. Grid view 1 dot data source equal to ds, grid view 1 dot data bind. Now that's the code. Now coolly take this code and then take that code and then you think this will do the cricket score app or not, or find out the fault in this program. And I want you to find out the fault in this program. Not syntactical fault, all of you. The program live cricket score fault I want from you. Yes. What will happen?
Every time I can read the whole score.
Yes, yes. Okay, let's see that. Caching is only for web forms or for MVC and others? Everywhere caching is there. Cache is common, please. Only syntax is different. Most of the people, when you start asking how do I use caching in MVC cache object, they say MVC doesn't support cache object. Okay, so please remember what is their intention, cache, this syntax you cannot write there. Yesterday, that's why I showed you, remember? Yeah, cache duration, attribute, that is the way it will support. These are ASP.NET core objects. Now core objects can be used in wherever ASP.NET word is there, there you can use it. So that's the thing which I am telling from the beginning. Core is common, everywhere you can use it. So this label is just for our reference. In real apps, you should not give any labels like that. You understood or not? You use cricket application in your mobile or on your screen, all of you? Okay, have you, how the score comes in your phone? Now let's, I don't know, what is the app you are using? Anybody? CrickBuzz. Good it is? Okay. So, I use Yahoo Cricket Score actually. Yahoo Cricket Score I like. Good app it is on my Windows phone. So what happens once I click on Yahoo Cricket Score, it displays me first a summary of the score. What is the current over and total score. That's what it will keep showing me. Total score and current over, like that. If I click on that, it will show me the detailed scorecard and ball by ball update and commentary, like that. Now what I am doing here is that summary, just the over score. Total I am not writing, total also I could have written in one, this thing. So now if you see, very interesting this is, if I run this application and in that Yahoo or CrickBuzz, I don't what should I tell, I don't every time click, automatically after few seconds it will refresh. Correct, all of you? What is the advantage for us? Otherwise, user has to every time click and do that. Now in our demo, user has to click. Got it, all of you? But we will get relieved from that click after the demo. After first our attention is not automatic score. Our attention is on cache object now. Then how to coherence the remaining work, we will see that. Okay, so here is my, now please imagine virtually that there is a match going on and the operator is entering the data and our users started coming to our website. Ready all of you? Shall we run now? Here it is. Let me put this here. I think to make it easy, I'll just put a breakpoint here so that anybody did not understand, they will catch it. Okay. Here is the breakpoint. Right now, run this live.aspx. If you're serious, you can build a very good app like this, I'm telling you. This is a classroom demo, but this, if you more elaborate and do it, it's a complete, cricket app. Yeah, this is also one good idea, Angular and Web API, one project it will become. Just take ClickBus or Yahoo Cricket, take all the screens and design your own. That's it. Easy. And when you do it in ASP.NET like this, it's not good. You need to do with Web API, caching and Angular. I think that is 5-star rated application it will be. Web API or means WCF or Web API, then you should have caching applied there, and the presenter should be Angular. Now this is ASPX presenter but Angular. I think that will be a good one. Now I click on view score. Can you see here? Am I clicking on, once I click on this, it came to the breakpoint. What will be the first time? It's null. DS. Okay. Now see, this is my DS. Here, if you see, the XML data is converted to relational data. Can you see that rows and columns now? Yes. And then just move on to this and then out and then present it. That's it. Now that's the score I got now. Is the score correct or wrong? Right now. Don't forget my words. What I told you. What is the correct score is what is there in XML file. If that comes, that is the correct score. Now in XML file, this is the data or not? Now if operator has not updated, that's not my problem. My developer task is what? Whatever data is there in XML, that's what I need to present. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, all the 4 overs match. Awesome.